Hello, everyone. Welcome to Subconscious Healing with Emma Wachs. Thank you so much for joining me. Just going to wait for some people to jump on. Going to get ready to view the comments. There we go. So wonderful to have you with us, guys. Thanks for joining. Feel free to say hi in the comment section. Let us know where you're from. Hi, Sophie. Today we're going to chat about subconscious healing. We're going to do something a little different to what we have been the last few weeks. Hi, Rowena. So great to have you here. Hi, Gabby. Hi, Kim. Oh, it's so wonderful to see all of you guys. So many familiar faces now. Thanks, everyone. Share where you're from into the comment section. We're going to be doing some subconscious healing today. And don't worry, this is going to be amazing. You're all going to be able to receive subconscious healing. We're going to do it in a slightly different way so that everyone gets to enjoy it today. Awesome. Nikki, hi from Brighton. So good to have you. Misty, hello. Invercargill, awesome. Thank you for being here. Hi, Andrea. So good to have you. Just wait for a few more people to jump on. Carrie is from Acacia Ridge in Brisbane. Hello. I grew up in Brisbane too. Andrea's in Far North. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Awesome. Rowena's in Canada. Wow, thanks so much for joining us, Rowena, all the way from Canada. I lived there for a little while myself. Lovely country. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We're going to get straight stuck in and doing some subconscious healing. And I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently this week because what I noticed was that there were so many people jumping on and looking to receive some healing that I wasn't able to get through everybody in the time that we had. So what I'm doing today is we're still going to be able to sort of share, some difficulties that we're having, but I'm also going to be tuning in for the entire group and just shifting some limiting beliefs from this space as well. So this will ensure that we all get to receive, clearing on some of the things that are in the highest good for us to shift. But it also is also going to offer the opportunity for you to bring anything current for you into the space as well. And usually what happens is if it's one person in the group is experiencing something, there'll be some more people as well experiencing similar limitations. So the shifts that we are going to be doing for each person here today, they're going to be somewhat resonating for everyone else as well. So I may be speaking to one particular person in any given moment, but if this is resonating for you as well, please ensure that you integrate these truths and allow for this healing to come in and allow for limiting beliefs to shift for you. I'm just going to start by explaining a little bit about subconscious healing and, why we're here. So my name is Emma Wachs and I'm a subconscious healer, which means that I have the ability to identify the deepest root cause of any challenge in somebody's life and create a shift here at the subconscious level. And so my goal in each and every session and interaction that I have with people is to be able to identify where are we going to be able to make the biggest impact with a shift in this moment. And I do that by accessing this information intuitively. So in any given moment, I'm connecting with the higher self of my client. And for you as a group now, I'm connecting in with all of your higher selves. And I'm able to see exactly what the perfect words are going to be for you and exactly what energetic shifts are going to be in the highest good for everyone involved so that we can create a really nice deep shift where it is truly going to count. And so if this is already sparking some interest for you, I have a weekly group healing that I do every Sunday. It's a full hour of subconscious healing and it's only $9.95 Australian dollars. So if you're interested, please come along. I'm going to pop the link for this into the comment section for anyone who's interested. This is the perfect way to start receiving some subconscious healing and start benefiting from some of these shifts. And so what I also wanted to bring up was that I also have the ability to teach other people how to do this for themselves. So straight away, if you're feeling that spark inside of you and you're like, oh my gosh, I not only want subconscious healing, but I want to learn how to do this for myself. I want to be able to create these sort of shifts, and you can somewhat sense or feel the opportunity that's in the air right now. Please get in contact with me. I would love to connect with you. I have a range of programs around teaching you how to connect into the subconscious mind and shift limitations using this magical these magical techniques as well. So I have a series of training programs, and I'm going to be sharing some more insights into these in the SED Expo next weekend. So Spiritual Events Directory, if you haven't heard, they're having a global expo next weekend. And I have an expo booth, which I'll be popping into the comments section as well. Please feel free to join this group. What it means is that you're going to be eligible to receive some special gifts on the day. You're going to be able to get a really nice clear rundown on all of the different services that I offer, and get some insight into the programs that I offer. And so these generally stem around, firstly, finding the time and space in your life for healing and transformation, but then also having a look into, you know, how can we use this magical, you know, modality to start creating healthier relationships in our lives? How can we use this to clear any limitations that we have with our parents so that we can then become better parents within ourselves? And so you're going to receive so much more information on this next weekend. For now, what I would love to do is start tuning in for you guys and seeing what sort of shifts we can create for you all today. And so I like to let everybody know at the start of every clearing and tune-in that I do that I'm connecting with your higher selves and sharing messages on for you. So feel free to utilize this in whatever way is perfect for you. But everyone will have somewhat of a different experience of subconscious healing. So some people may be experiencing energetic shifts within their body. Some people may be able to feel hints of emotional fear just before we clear something. And other people may have this tension in their mind space, or they may feel that their mind is, you know, bringing up some negative thoughts or sensations. Don't worry, it's all totally okay. And all that's happening is you're being shown what's possible to shift throughout the session today. So if you have any questions, please pop those into the comments section at any given time, and I'm going to keep checking in on these and getting back to you guys. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Nicole. I would love to help you. Sounds wonderful. Jose, hello from Miami. So good to have you here. Dies from Melbourne. Thank you for joining us. Maria could use some guidance. And Jane, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. So absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by asking you all to share some general things into the space today. So if you think of an area of your life or a particular thing in your life where you feel like you could use some change, so this may be your relationship with your, you know, with your parents or with your children, this may be finances, this may be you know, love and connecting with others, or having difficulties in relationships. This may be certain emotions that you're struggling with, so things like fear or guilt or, you know, stress. Just share any sort of common things that you have had coming up for you in your life, and I would love to create as deep a possible shift as we can for you today on this. So feel free to pop that into the comments section. And what I'm going to do is, once everyone's thrown a few things in there, I'm just going to connect in, and I'm going to choose a few of these, and I'm going to create some nice big shifts. And what you'll usually find is that there'll be a few of us that are all, you know, connected in on the same limitations, so we'll be able to shift for so many of you at once here. But also there may be certain areas where this isn't quite wanting to go in, right? So you may notice that your mind space is wanting to really doubt this process, because to be honest with you, subconscious healing is really easy, it's really fast, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and the effects happen instantly for you. So it really doesn't take a lot of time to do this. But if you're feeling that your mind space is wanting to really doubt this, just stay with me until the end of this call. We're going to be finishing in about 50 minutes from now, so we've got plenty of time for subconscious healing. What you'll find is that by the end of today, all of those doubts will be resolved. All of those difficulties will be shifted for you, and any questions that you've had around this area, even after we've created somewhat of a shift, they will all be resolved by the end of the call. So thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to get stuck in and I'm going to start tuning in and identifying what there is to clear. And if you have just joined us, just share any general difficulties in your life into the comment section, and I'm going to start tuning in and identifying some limitations, and we're just going to explore these as we create some shifts for you all. So straight away, I've seen career is a big one. Career, work, wonderful. Perfect. Thank you everyone for sharing. I'm seeing all of these coming through, so I am seeing some similarities there. So I'm going to start with career, and then we're going to continue on down the line. So let's see. I'm connecting in. So it feels like for this group, the biggest limitation today in the career, in the realm of career, is there's this sense beneath the surface of not feeling good enough. So it makes so much sense that in those moments where we're really wanting to step into a new space in our career, it can really bring this up for us, because what we don't realize is that we're actually exploring all of those parts of us that we have been having difficulty breaking through into. So we want to get a little bit deeper into this, and we want to really identify what's beneath the surface of this. Okay, so stay with me. You may feel or notice that, we're instantly connecting with something for you. So feel free to stay with me, because if we look beneath the surface of this sensation of not feeling good enough, we find a fear. And the fear that's beneath the surface of this feeling of not feeling good enough is this. It's the fear that I'm going to make a fool out of myself. There's a part of me that's going to be embarrassed if I'm not able to make the right decision. And so it feels as though there are, a myriad of different ways as to how this comes into anyone's life. But because the career is such a public choice, it's something that we really stand our ground on, and it can feel like a lifelong decision, right? If we make this decision, it doesn't just come back down to whether this was a right decision for us and whether we're going to enjoy this position or this business opportunity that we're exploring. It also comes back to looking at what will other people think of me if this is the sort of career that I have. What will my family and my friends see of me if this is the sort of decision I make around career. And so we're connecting with societal beliefs and limitations, and it may be around more than ever now, not only because we're so aware of the kinds of careers that aren't supporting us on every level, but there's also judgment from the spiritual world in today's realm of existence as well. There can be so much judgment on choosing any sort of career path, and so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what we choose to support ourselves. At the end of the day, that's not the decision that we should be pining over. It's not the decision that's going to make a difference at the end of the day. It's that, are we going to be able to break through this fear? Does this next job position or business opportunity, does this offer us a chance to break through the fears that are going to get us that one step closer to doing what we truly love more than anything else, being able to explore our purpose and why we're here, and being able to not only provide security and financial benefit, but also being able to put food on the table, being able to enjoy what we're doing, and being able to absolutely love it. So it feels like we've broken through that fear for some of you. Thank you so, so much. That was so wonderful to be able to have, created that shift. I'm also seeing that, now that we've shifted this, there's this hesitation in the space, right? Because now that we've broken through this fear somewhat, all of a sudden there's nothing stopping us from diving into the unknown. And the unknown can feel a little bit scary, but this is where we, where it's sometimes best for us to start exploring if we're looking into new opportunities that are going to be supportive for us on levels beyond where we're currently, experiencing, beyond what we're currently experiencing. So let's see, what is it that we need as a group today to sort of clear that? And this may be specific to you for career or just in general. You may just be exploring new opportunities, but you just keep coming up against this hesitation because you're like, I'm not quite sure whether this is right for me. I'm not quite sure whether I have found that new magical thing yet. And so this is the message that's coming through for you all, and it's going to be able to create a shift for you and integrated truth as well. The journey is not in finding that next magical thing. The journey is in whether we're going to be able to stay motivated enough to be able to push through it. So, in any given moment, we could find that next magical moment, but all of that glory is going to disappear within 1 week of, being in this new job or exploring this new business opportunity if we're not able to continue pushing through and being able to break through the limitations that we come up against. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter, where we get to in our lives, there are always going to be limitations in the space for us to clear until we've found something as magical as subconscious healing to be able to shift them. And even then, there's still a bit of a journey with that, right? Because we're constantly shifting into new levels of awareness. So it feels as though we want to be really present to the fact that we've created some clarity today, because we've cleared the non-truth out of the space for you all, which is that, it's important for us to make the right decision, and that it's important for us to find the perfect right opportunity. But if we focus just on these two things and we're not able to explore what's happening subconsciously beneath the surface of this, then these two things aren't going to make the world of difference and create a difference in the fullest impact that, I know majority of us are all searching for. So we want to bring awareness to the subconscious. We want to bring awareness to what's beneath the surface of these things. And it feels like by doing that today, creating shifts, we've created a really nice big shift for you all in this area of your life. So thank you so much for sharing. That feels really super magical. Please feel free to let me know in the comments section. Yes, Melissa, please definitely catch it in the replay. Let me know in the comments section if this is resonating for you. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this back later, you're still going to be able to feel these shifts. So just know that, and please connect with me if you're ever feeling like you'd like to explore what has come up for you deeper. So thank you so much for sharing. Let's look at what the next common theme seems to be. Okay, so I'm sensing that there's some relationship difficulties that we want to explore. Perfect, yep. Okay, so a few people have commented about relationships into the space. Some people are mentioning relationships and they're feeling alone or not feeling that they're able to love themselves. There was another one, someone is mentioning that they're feeling like they're not able to have be connected, as though there's distance in their relationships, or they're needing distance. And the other one was yeah, so the other one was relationships and connecting in families and in friendships. So I want to explore all of these together because I'm feeling that there's one big limitation beneath the surface. If we're able to look deeply enough, we may very well find that there's one deep limitation that's connecting all of these. Any other relationship difficulties that you're having at the moment, fear, anything else in that area, please feel free to allow for it to come into the space. So even if I'm not consciously, bringing it up into the present moment, just allow for whatever comes up for you to be present here. And so I'm going to start tuning in on relationships now. We're going to identify some limitations beneath the surface. So just allow for this process to happen in whatever way is perfect for you as we start to explore. Highway Aura, thank you for joining. Just in time for that last tune in. That would have been perfect for you. Okay, so relationships, straight away I'm seeing there's some fear. So we're just going to breathe through the fear for a little while until we're able to get down into the root cause of what is behind this fear in relationships for us. Well done. Some of you may be feeling beautifully connected. If you're not really experiencing anything, that's okay as well. Just listen along. Okay, so what I've been sensing is that for the group, there's this sense of upheaval. And so it feels like there's been a lot happening in the last maybe week and a half around relationships specifically. So I'm seeing that for a lot of people, there's a lot of relationship difficulties that are very present for them at the moment. So if this is somewhat resonating for you, definitely let us know in the comment section. What we want to do is we just want to, again, create some clarity. We want to separate, what's happening in the present moment to what's happening in the subconscious, because as humans, what we're constantly doing is walking around on a day-to-day basis, for the most part, in a constant state of protection. And when it comes to love and connecting with others, this is one of the biggest things that can impact us, is us being in a constant state of stress and us being in a constant state of wanting to protect ourselves. So this is what we want to explore, because yes, there's huge power in exploring the experiences that are going on for us in the present moment, right? But if we can look beneath the surface and identify what's beneath that and explore that, then we have found a way to clear not only the experience that you're currently having, but the very first time that you ever had this experience, we're able to clear right back until that point. And if we've cleared something from the root, from the creation point, from the beginning of its existence, then how can it possibly exist in the present moment? So by doing this intuitively as well, by connecting with your higher selves, and by me connecting with my higher self to share the perfect messages for you, we're not only clearing and letting go of anything energetic, but we're clearing the physical, emotional, mental, aspects of this as well, in any other levels of our being that we're looking to explore. So you may experience this shift in, one way or a few different ways. You may also just have an all-knowing, sense of what it is that's clearing, or any and all ways are perfect. There's no right or wrong way, just your way. So let's find that space within ourselves. Let's connect with that in whatever way you do, that sense that we're always, running around in our lives in this constant state of protection, protecting the love inside of us, and protecting, our inner child, protecting the part of us that, is desperate for more love and connection in our lives, but is also desperate to keep us safe, that is desperate to keep us, it's desperate to keep us from being hurt again. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a shift here. And we're going to do this just by, for a moment, exploring the very first time that we felt this way. So the very first time that we felt this sort of pain, where we felt as though we were hurt or we were heartbroken, or our love was compromised in some way, I'd like everyone just to explore that in whatever way is perfect for you. Amazing, right? So just bringing awareness to that has allowed for this to shift somehow. Now we're going to allow for this clearing to happen. We're going to be able to clear these limiting beliefs and this limitation from our life. So this is going to come in, again, slightly differently for everyone. So just allow for this process to happen in whatever way is perfect for you. You may start to feel a beautiful energy coming in through the top of your head. almost like it's wrapping you up around the outside of your body and then sinking into every cell. Perfect. And as it does, it starts clearing, it starts shifting that limitation for you. And you'll notice this constriction that you've had inside of yourself, this need to protect yourself, it's slowly starting to ease. Perfect. So that's going to continue on. Allow for that shift to continue. Well done, everyone. You're all so open to this. It's so beautiful. And I now want to just have a look at the limitation beneath the surface that we want to gain clarity on, because there's this final bit of constriction that we're refusing to let go of, and it's slightly different for everybody, but here's the general gist. The mind wants to be in control of the process of life, and it is what is actually creating this sensation of constriction inside of you. And so even though we've been able to create a shift, we need to clear the mind's perspective, because if we're unable to bring in this new space of clarity, then we are unable to be able to allow for this shift to integrate on every level, to be complete. And so we just want to allow for this sort of to happen. We're breaking down. You may have some memories coming up, some emotions or feelings or thoughts. It may be linked to past experiences, or it may just be connected to healing in the past, and you're just sort of letting go of any limitations that you've had in the past in healing. And that's really allowed for that space to clear up. I'm hoping you guys are all feeling that as wonderfully as I am, but it feels absolutely incredible. Gabby's feeling it. Andrea's saying, yes, it resonates. Kerry's saying, yes, wonderful, fantastic, thank you. So this feels really wonderful. Feels like this shift is complete for majority of you. There's just one more element we want to look into this with, because there's this slight hesitation of wanting to dive into the world again. Really believing that this shift has happened and that all of your relationships can be, different from the shift that we've just had. And so there's this hesitation to want to go back into some potentially, somewhat harmful situations for some of you. I'm feeling that it's almost as though there may be some situations that aren't really serving you. So this may be in the way of draining your energy, or it may be in the way of, this person or people keep bringing back heavy emotions and difficult emotions for you. And this may also be in the way of, that heartbreaking feeling that if you were to let go of this relationship completely, if you are seeing that it's in your highest good to let go of somebody, it almost feels as though sometimes to create this shift, you need to say goodbye to them, as if you were to never see them ever again. So even though it may not mean that you need to say goodbye to this person and never speak to them again, you may need to explore that space energetically in order to create a shift for this relationship to transform. And here's where we get very amazing insight into how we can use subconscious healing to better our relationships and to transform our relationships. Because if you imagine that two people are locked in on a relationship dynamic and are unable to move through it, right? So both people are experiencing their minds version of what is happening on either side of this relationship. So for example, let's say we have a couple and one person is saying, oh my gosh, they never listen to me whenever I bring up this subject. The other person is saying, oh my gosh, they always overpower me when I bring up this subject, right? But what's happening is that, although these root limitations may be, somewhat connected, they're not able to see each other clearly for how they really are. What's happening on the surface level of this is that they're actually involved in subconscious reactions and triggers that are just connected to their past experience. So for most people, this will be them playing out the dramas that their parents played out in their relationships. So this is a really fascinating aspect, and I saw a comment there from someone who was looking at relationships in the way of being an entrepreneur. This is absolutely perfect for you as well if you're looking into relationships in your business as well. This is where you find a really empowered space with helping clients, with helping children, as a parent, or as a teacher, in any form of connecting with people on a new level. There is always the need for us to explore what our perfect space is within this journey. And so Find Time and Space is all about creating the perfect space for you, firstly, to open up to healing and transformation just for long enough for you to be able to shift whatever it is that's going on in your life. From that moment on, not only can you create a shift in whatever ego-mind dynamic has been floating back and forth between you and other people, but these other people also then have the opportunity to shift this as well. And so, for those who have magical techniques at being able to do this for themselves as well, that's wonderful. You'll be able to experience whole new levels of them alongside of, you exploring this sort of journey. For those who haven't quite found that perfect thing yet, it may just take them a little bit longer to sort of come around and find their own clarity. They may have some things to work through. For some people, they may never reach that space. They may never reach the place where they're able to sort of connect with you again, on the level that you're currently on, once you choose to put you first before anybody else. But the most important thing is that you do this for yourself firstly. And so I'm seeing some questions come up around children, which I'll have a look at soon. But for the most part, this is, the most impactful thing that we can do to better our relationships. It's to be constantly looking within and being able to shift any limitations or insecurities that we may have beneath the surface. And it feels as though for the group today, what we've done is we've brought some clarity in there. If anyone is still struggling with this, letting go of a relationship, or if you're not sure whether you're needing to let go, or you're needing to just create a shift and then allow for this person to pop into a new space and enjoy life with you from a new level. This is something that my programs are designed around. So please connect with me on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook, Emma Wachs, or you can find me on Find Time and Space. And we can have a look at exploring, exactly what, is going to benefit you, and exactly, where your relationships are at, and find that perfect space for you. Now, anyone that's looking at children, I'd love to create a little shift here for you as well. So if you're a parent or if you work with children, it feels really wonderful for us all to just imagine sending this wave of truth that you've just created for yourself. Imagine sending this wave of truth into the family home is what I'm getting. So if this is, a classroom, or if this is, wherever that comfortable space is where you see yourself with your family or with your clients or with your children, you just want to imagine sending this truth there. You're sending this new space that you found for yourself around knowing that you're able to shift something if you need to, and knowing that there's always space for everyone else to sort of shift around you. So thank you so much for everyone being there with me. I felt you all the way. Please let me know how all of those shifts are going for you. Kerry saying thank you. Wonderful. Brenda saying, wow, spot on. Thank you, Brenda. Maria's saying so spot on as well. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Let us know how you're going with that, guys. That feels really super amazing. So please feel free to watch this back again, guys. This live, you can listen to this a few times as well if you'd like to allow for this, this shift to integrate. And if you've just joined us and you're wanting to create a shift in relationships or in career, definitely go back and watch the replay. I'm just going to go through the comment section, and I'm just going to see if I can catch what another... Wonderful. So what's interesting is that I'm seeing some people have put in there the heart chakra, the throat chakra. One person mentioned weight, something to get healthy, wonderful. So all of these things I'm seeing are connected. So now we're going to now we're going to do a clearing there. Yes, thank you, Brenda. Let's empower the kids and teachers in the classrooms. Of course. Oh my gosh, how amazing. Okay, so I'm seeing that if there's any chakras that we're looking to clear, they are also somewhat connected with our health. So we want to explore both of these today and identify what limitations are there ready for us all to clear here. So this is wonderful. We're getting a really nice, big, deep shift, aren't we, across all of the different areas of our lives, and we're starting to explore clearing limiting beliefs. So please let us know in the comments section how you're experiencing these limiting beliefs cleared. Are you sensing them in your body? Are you having an awareness of them being cleared? Is it a bit of both? Are you having visions, or intuitive insights? Feel free to let us know what's happening for you there. And what I also wanted to bring into the space here is exploring intuitive abilities. So if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to connect in with any limitations that you may have around being able to expand your intuitive abilities. I want to bring this into the space. It feels all somehow connected to the limitation that's going to come up with health and with clearing our chakras and our energy as well. So if anyone has been feeling drained or tired as well, this one's for you too. Perfect. So straight away, I'm seeing the heart space. So I'm seeing the heart chakra. I'm seeing the heart space. It feels like we're going to start here. We're just going to start exploring intuitively and seeing what comes up. But it's almost as though I feel as though there's a fair bit of blockage in this area for some of us, and for those of us who are struggling with our health. So it's almost as though I'm being seen in this moment that, this is where we're going to find the root cause of a lot of health issues that the people in this group today are currently experiencing. So whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, this is certainly going to resonate for you, and this is perfect for you. So I'm seeing again, I'm connecting with the sensation of heartache. It's almost as though those little disappointments and failures in life, they're all starting to build up, but they're being held in the heart space. And so what we want to do is we just want to bring awareness to this as we allow for some of this to shift. So if you're feeling any shifts in this area, just breathe through them. Allow any anxiety or fear that anyone is experiencing as well to sort of shift here. And what's beneath the surface of this is this fear of being loved. It's almost as though all of the failures, all of the disappointments, that have sort of come up in your life, they've left a scar, they've left an imprint in this area, and they've contributed to heartache. So what's interesting is that if anyone has been experiencing huge levels of heartache in any given moment, it of course affects, their relationships, and we may see the physical manifestations of that in relationships. But what I'm getting here is that heartache is one of the biggest limitations behind having good health, behind feeling well, and behind feeling confident within ourselves, feeling self-love and self-belief and on all new amazing levels, but also being able to really appreciate life. It zaps that life force out of us, right? So if you're feeling that lack of energy, that draining energy, this is where that stems from. It's because, each and every time that we experience somewhat of a sense or trigger around failure or disappointment, it triggers the same sensation of heartache. And every time that we experience this, we have the same difficulties. We block up our heart space, we overeat, we, engage in self-destructive behavior, all of those things that create so much difficulty for us in just being able to be nice to ourselves, being able to love ourselves and love our bodies. These are the sorts of things that come up. So bringing awareness to this is amazing. And now, once we've found and accessed this, we just want to connect in with the headspace. And so you may notice either some stress, that's connected to this somewhat, or you may notice that you've had blockages in your third eye. Again, I'm seeing that these are interrelated. So we want to clear what's beneath the surface here, because it feels as though in any moment that we have any sort of failure or disappointment in our lives, the first thing that happens is it triggers our heart space. The second thing that happens is our headspace clogs up. We, become cloudy, we become stressed, and this may be flipped for some of you. I'm getting, some of you may experience the stress before the heartache, but either way, the other version of this is experiencing stress, cloudiness, just difficulty seeing with clarity. And so this can affect the chakras in the throat area, so not feeling confident speaking up because we're not sure whether we're speaking from the correct space. But this also creates difficulties in us being able to connect intuitively, in us to being able to connect in with that true version of ourselves. And this feels like this is where we start to get a little bit lost. So it's almost as though, if we had tools to sort of work on the heartache, then for some people, this stress and anxiety would never sort of come into your experience. It's almost as though if we were able to deal with this firstly, and we had tools and techniques to be able to do that, it would, instantly shift anything else that's going on in the headspace for you. So this is the message I'm getting is perfect for you all now. And we're just going to have a look at what can we do firstly to clear anything that's going on in the heart space. It may not be very big for some of you. It may be just somewhat of a small sensation or an awareness of that being there. And so what I want to do here is bring in an energy to shift that. So again, feel free to relax into this space. Allow for this energy to bring in some truth for you. And I'm seeing this beautiful energy sort of coming in through the top of your head, and it's coming into the chest space, into the heart area. It's expanding throughout the heart and then expanding into your body, into the space around you, bringing in the energy of truth, the energy of clarity. Wonderful. Perfect. So that feels wonderful so far. What we just want to do now is, again, we want to explore anywhere where the mind wants to sabotage this, right? Because some of you may be having issues with overeating, or, whatever it was that you saw those self-destructive behaviors were. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, that's great. So I've got this wonderful energy integrated, but how on earth can I stop doing these things? So the message that's coming through is the reason these things are there is because, once again, they are familiar. These are the ways that you have known of in the past to sort of alleviate any subconscious triggers that are happening for you beneath the surface. So if you can imagine that, because we're here right now in this intuitive space and I've raised everyone's vibration and we've been able to identify what the subconscious limitation is, it's very easy for us to see from this space, okay, yes, that's the limitation. We've created a shift. That's wonderful. But, on a day-to-day basis, we may not be aware of what's happening beneath the surface. We may only be seeing things like, I know that Jem mentioned procrastination. We may be aware of the fact that we're procrastinating, but we may not really know what's causing us to procrastinate, what's beneath the surface of that. So if we're overeating, or if we're having difficulty, with sex, or, alcohol or drugs or anything like that, this is what's sort of holding us back. Because in each and every moment that we have a breakthrough with these things, it can be very easy for us to fall back into a familiar space. And so it It feels as though what's important to note is that if something has been with you for a long time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take a long time to shift. But the reason for these subconscious limitations being there in the first place, that is what is going to determine how quickly these experiences are going to fade away. So you can very much, if you're open to it, allow for those things to be gone right now and never experience those ever again. And I have had things like that happen in my life, and it's been amazing. For things that carry a bit of weight, that may need to have a few different angles of this limitation explored, there may be a process with it. And so I highly recommend that anyone who's interested in that process to please connect with me for a for a group healing, which is in the comment section you'll see for tomorrow, or for a free subconscious healing session. This will allow for us to explore what's possible for you and see how we can start creating shifts in some of these deeper things for you. So it feels like for some of you, we have made some really nice big shifts in that area, and you'll notice yourself over the next couple of days just sort of being able to relax, to be able to be clear and be free from the stress, be free from any heavy emotional difficulties. But if this is a reoccurring cycle in your life, it's definitely worth connecting with me again. So thank you so much, everyone. Please let me know how these are going for you. In the comment section, I would love to hear how these are integrating for you, and I would also love to hear if it's resonating for you. Ruth is saying, thanks, just what you needed. My pleasure. Felicity said, my energy suddenly expanded as I'm sitting on the floor doing the breathing exercises, listening to you. Wow, wonderful. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Andrea, for your comments. It's so wonderful to have you here engaging. Julie, please, would love to expand intuition. Oh, you must have popped on at the perfect time, Julie. That's wonderful. Thank you so much to everyone who shared. That's amazing. So let's see, what are we going to do for the final 15 minutes? Let's see. This feels really good. It feels like, thanks, Johnny. Woohoo! It feels like we've covered so much of this. Oh, Dan, I really hope that we have shifted something there for you. Please let me know if you'd like to explore that further. Dan would like to reconnect with his lovely lady of 25 years. How beautiful. Stagnation, procrastination, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh, it's so great, you guys. We've covered this all. This is such a great way of doing it. Healthiness, feels stuck. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so it feels like there's one more thing I want to look at today, and Andrea, heartache for sure, it made me cry. Oh, that's so wonderful, Andrea. I'm so glad you had a nice big shift. Anna, I'd love to connect with you further. My baby has just woken up. So beautiful, Anna. I'll send you the link. Donna's saying thank you. Amy, hello. Wonderful. So here's a final thing that feels really good for us all to look in today. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end, guys. This feels absolutely wonderful. There is a few messages there about procrastination, feeling stuck, making decisions, not really knowing, which direction to sort of take in any given moment. It's something that we are constantly coming up against, right? And so even though you may initially have had a problem when we first jumped onto this call, now that that has sort of been alleviated, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, how am I to, move forward? So we just want to have a look at what's beneath the surface of this and create a nice shift. Let's identify a limiting belief. So beautiful that we can all enjoy this together. So there's a couple of different layers to this. So I'm just going to start with the first limiting belief, which feels as though it is there's the surface level of making wrong decisions, feeling frustrated, right? When we look at the emotional scale and we look at, you know, the different levels of emotions, you know, from, you know, joy and positive emotions right back down through the scale, we reach frustration before, you know, beneath that is anger, sadness. We're looking at frustration, right? So we're looking at the surface level frustration, which is that beneath every decision that we make, there's this frustration with life, right? Because we've been needing to make decisions, to do what we can do with, you know, the best tools that we could possibly find, and we're constantly having to work to live, and then going through phases of living to work, but then suffering the consequences of that. And then we have to come back down to, at some point, having to make decisions that at the end of the day don't feel all that great for us. We're really just wishing that we never had to make decisions ever again, that life would just become simpler, that we would have all of the answers, and that we would be able to, you know, be able to just know, you know, just know within us, okay, this is what I'm doing today. This is what feels good for me. Now I'm going to go and do that. So this is what the first level is. And if we look beneath the surface of this, we find this, there's like this depth to this awareness, because if we were to explore this further, there's a part of us that doesn't want to admit that we are unhappy with being here on earth. And if we're unhappy with being here on earth, then, you know, that is something really difficult that we're going to need to look at. And it's something really difficult that if we finally admit to ourselves, then we're going to have to sit and suffer with that awareness for the rest of our lives. So, funnily enough, our mind again has been attempting to protect us. And what it's actually doing is creating a story which is not the truth, and it's deterring us from seeing what actually needs to be cleared, what it is that we're actually avoiding. And what's beneath the surface of this is the third layer, which I'm seeing once again is just the fear of the unknown. It's just the fear of not having all of the steps planned. So sometimes we may need to make a decision, or we may need to accept a new opportunity that's coming in without really having all of the details. And this can be somewhat scary, frustrating. This can make us angry if we, you know, really try to figure out all of the details, but we don't really get anywhere with it. This is something that we are constantly going through over and over and over again. And it's very tiring, and it's very frustrating, and it's very difficult. So please let me know if this is resonating for you in the comment section. And what we're going to do is we're going to shift this now by creating awareness. We've already done that, but we're going to create some awareness and clarity by bringing in the truth here. And the truth that I'm seeing, and you may feel this as a nice energetic integration, is that there's the old saying, you know, that we never were in control of the journey in the first place. We are always being guided toward what's right for us. The only thing that is there to decide in any given moment is how much we want to kick and scream along the way. And so if there is any version of us that wants to kick and scream, that wants to take control of the process, and that wants to decide what's going to be best for us, then that would have to be the ego mind perspective. And it's certainly not serving us. It is connected to a whole bunch of past experiences. It is connected to thoughts and feelings of emotion and emotions that aren't serving us. It's connected to memories of our past. None of it is ever really connected with what's happening with us right in front of us. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, what we're experiencing, it doesn't need to be present in front of us. And here's the final thing that we're going to clear and let go of today, is the fact that we need to know. We need to experience in order to know, which then allows for us to feel safe. So if this is taking a couple of, you know, cycles to sort of understand, watch this back the last 5 minutes again. but we want to let go of the need to know. It's a limiting belief that is beneath so much of our difficulty in life and so much of our ability to be able to step into a space of, a space of love within, a space of feeling comfortable with life and comfortable with who we are on every level. So the need to know, the need to control the process, and the need to become aware of, how our life is going to play out. It's getting in the way of us being able to just trust in the opportunities and being able to just know, that when the perfect opportunity comes up, we're going to feel that on every level of our being, and we're going to be able to move forward with that. If we're not able to move forward with it straight away, it just means that there's some limitations in the way. If this ever happens for you, then this is the perfect time to reach out to someone such as myself who can help you, guide you on this journey of being able to shift that and clear that blockage. So if that's something that you're interested in, please connect with me. I'm just going to pop into the comment section here, my expo booth for the Spiritual Events Directory Expo next weekend. If what we've been doing today has been resonating for you, I highly recommend joining that group. Over the next week or so, I'm going to be listing the schedule, and then we're also going to be looking at a whole new range of services for Find Time and Space, and we're going to be exploring this, and this is the absolute perfect way of clearing those limitations out of the space for you today, just as much as we have for you here today. Limitations in your life just as much as we have for you here today. Sometimes my intuitive self is a little faster than my mind. And so I also want to pop into the comments section, if you really enjoyed how we did this work today, I have a group healing event which is on tomorrow. Feel free to register. It's just $9.95. This is the perfect way for us to explore together what limiting beliefs are beneath the surface of all of our perceptions, what's in the highest good for us to clear and be able to start having these shifts. We do a really nice, beautiful meditation right in the beginning so that we get to clear our energy. And this is a really beautiful, magical process that allows for us to instantly disconnect from anything that's not serving us in life and allowing us the space for ourselves. We find time and space for us. You will find that perfect time and space for you, I promise, within that meditation. And the more that we're able to reaffirm that space, the more that this will start to become present for you in your life. So Denise is saying spot on. Corinda's saying yes. Claire is saying thank you. Thank you so much for you all for joining me and for sharing all of these wonderful messages in the comments section. Pamela, hello. I look forward to seeing you soon. Wonderful. Denise brought in mind chatter confusion. Perfect timing, Denise. You came in just at the right time. So thank you so much to everyone who joined. Please feel free to connect with me on Facebook at Find Time and Space, and I would love to see you all at the expo next week, and it's going to be a really super fun day. Don't forget to register so that you get to catch all of the replays of all of the workshop and speakers that are going to be there on the day. It's going to be really super special. So thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this sets you up for a magical weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Mwah. Much love to you all. Bye-bye. Thank you.